believe we are live now. Yep, it would seem so. And let me go on to here. Not now. YouTube Studio, 1 second. Content live. Let's have chat open so I can see things. No, not made for kids. Save. Okay, so I think we should be good right now. So, sweet. As I await. Yeah, so I'm just gonna talk about what I've done last stream. So these past 2 or 3 streams, I've been focusing on just like getting, and let me minimize this to the side a little bit. Here we go. I don't know, wait 1 second. There we go. I think I have almost. Okay, that should be good, I think. I don't even need that. Yeah, let me just close this out. Don't need this for right now. So anyways, let me recap some of the work I've been doing. So, these past 2 or 3 streams, we've been working on making lighting great. And that's been the main focus. In the earlier iterations of this game, we only had one type of light, which was a point light. So we had like a point light here. There's a single point in space, and then we had a line light. Did you figure out the lighting yesterday? Yes, we did, Cody. Yes, we did. It was a very simple, it turned out to be a very simple thing of just like, I think one issue was just missing, like putting the bracket in a weird spot that I wasn't expecting to be in. And then the other thing was just some issues with the wrong function. But we got it working. So we have the point light here working as intended. Now we have our line light, or you have a series of lines or lights that are just a line defined by 2 points, which is kind of cool because like Unity out the box doesn't have that kind of lighting. You can probably force it, but it just doesn't. So we have our own nice little custom type of light sources here. What's up, my dear? Hello. Good to see you. So cool. So we have 2 official types of light sources supported. And then today we're going to be doing the cone light. And I've been thinking about how we're going to go about the maths, the graphs, the formulas for defining a point light and defining just how extreme this is going to be, or define like how the intensity of the light source, because it's very easy to have variable intensity for like this 2-point line or a single point, because it's really just a distance, like the distance from one point, and then having like intensity be inversely proportional to that. But cone lines are very different. So the way I'm thinking about it is kind of thinking about this in terms as like a sphere, but like a segment or section of a sphere. So I might even go into Miro and kind of break down the way I'm thinking about this, so that not only can you understand it, but so I can understand it as well. Because it's one thing to have it in the dome up here. It's another thing to actually externalize these ideas about how we're going to go about computing stuff. These different elements. But I think it's going to be one of those scenarios where a dot product is just R, baby. I've been looking at NeoCities for inspiration for the website redesign. Yeah, we're going to be redesigning this bad boy. I'm going Miro. What happened to the enemy? What happened to the enemy be light? And good to see too. I might need you to clarify that a little bit better for me. I'm not fully understanding the question there, but I want to answer it. By the way, man, your presentation, interaction with viewers, and overall stream quality makes it extremely engaging for all of us. You need to blow up quick. I see nothing but positive comments here. I appreciate it, man. It's very nice to hear that. And whatchamacallit? Yeah, I really appreciate it. And it's very weird for me. I don't know how to express how weird this is to me, because I've been streaming since high school, and I've been improving and stuff like that, but I'm very used to like having maybe 2 or 3 people in my streams, and you know, if I have 5 people in my streams, that's a great day. So it's very odd to see a lot more people here. Not bad odd, it's just, you know, wow, that's crazy. And it seems that the presentation we have going on here is better than I would have assumed. So I do appreciate it, thank you. And hopefully we can keep improving. And I may try streaming in Puerto Rico, and I'm not gonna have any of this set up, so we're gonna see how well that goes, but maybe if it's bad, maybe I just save streaming for when I come back in 2 weeks. Which is kind of crazy. We started blowing up out of nowhere right before I have to go on vacation, but you know what? I'm just going to take it as divine will. God knows what he's doing, man. Yes, he does. So anyways, let's talk about how we're going to implement this cone lighting business. And I think to keep it super duper simple, we should just start with the basics of just understanding like what, for example, a dot product is. That's a little important. Enemy is light and you make it. What happened? Enemy is, oh, are you talking about, wait, so enemy is light. I only see one character here, the player. There is this effect of like the rim lighting that you're seeing where like the edge of the player is being lit. Is that what you're talking about? If so, we can talk about, the gist of it is the magic of normal maps, but that's a separate thing. And now you have a 64. I wish. I only have a PS1 and PS2. Anyways, dot products, the backbone of so much 3D. I think we're just gonna use, I kind of use my whiteboard in real life and change the camera so you guys can see it. Also, is the camera very dark for you guys? It appears really dark for some reason, and I don't know why. It's a bit weird. I don't know why it's like this. One second. Very strange. Green mode kind of fixes it, and then the other mode kind of exacerbates it. Let me just do one thing here, and then if that doesn't work, then oh well. If that doesn't work, okay, it kind of works. It's kind of improvement. I don't know. All right, dot product. Camera, it's cool. Thank you, man. What are you making? I'm making a 2.5D cleanup puzzle platform. Not puzzle platforming, just a platforming cleaning game where you clean up the world. And right now we are revamping this lighting system because we're not using Unity's. We're hand rolling our own lighting model to do a lot of this stuff. And the thing we're adding today is going to be cone lights or spotlights in Unity terms. Yeah, and we're going to be talking a little bit about my thought process in terms of how to approach implementing it. And I think the first thing we're talking about is just the idea of what a dot product is. Dot product. It's a function that will give you a single float value. And if you don't know what a float is, it's just a real number. You can think about it that way. So it can be decimals, it can be like whole numbers, anything in between, right? That's what a float is. It's 32 bits, precision, that's good enough. And it gives you, the way it gives you this value is by taking in two things. It takes in two vectors. Vector. Roger, what's your vector, Victor? And you can say vector A and vector B are the inputs to this function. I know. If I had known I was going to put that in there, I probably would have restructured this a little bit better. But we're working with what we got. In fact, I can restructure this. Very nice. So you have our inputs, vector A and vector B, and that is going to give us a floating value. And it's going to be different kind of things, man. What are you making? Camera is cool, thank you. Do you know about Three.js? I know, I'm aware of it. I never really used it myself, but I did saw recently they added some pixel support stuff, which is pretty cool. I don't know why the camera is so dark, man. That kind of bothers me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit peeved. I try so hard to make things look pretty. And then reality just disappoints me. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Either way, so this is a dot product, right? And the way it works is that you're gonna have vector A be like, let's say starting from here and then pointing somewhere else, right? We can, for our example, we can say like this is 0, 0, and then this is like negative. It's like the coordinate 0 and then negative 1. And then we have another vector, which we're going to use a different color. That's like, let's say over here. Oh, you're chunky. And it's some other value, right? And then this is our, okay, this is going to be a little bit confusing if I keep doing it that way. This is origin. This is where 0, 0 is. So the dot product of these two things is kind of the result of how aligned this vector is with this one. So let's say, for example, this vector is perfectly aligned with the first one, with A. Let's say it's like this. You're going to get a value of 1. So that's the first case. If they're together, you get a value of 1. If it's perfectly away from each other, you get a value of negative 1. And if it's perpendicular, like here or pointing there, it'll be 0. So for normalized vectors, you get like a value of 1 where it's perfectly aligned, negative 1 where it's perfectly away, and then everything in between. And this is going to be the heart of all the 3D light rendering stuff we're doing. 1 second. Let me lower my brightness. Maybe that's the problem here. I'm not sure why this is the case. All right, let me catch up in chat. My bad. Airplane 1984. I love it. This is gold, bro. Let's go. You're making fun of that weird long-haired dude with voice changer who works at Blizzard, right? It's okay, but his monitor needs some upgrade. Nah, brother. This is the upgrade. This is the upgrade. This monitor is the upgrade. What are you talking about? Oh, so what's up, Kieran? Good to see you here again, man. A dot product as a shadow. That's a good way to think about it. It's how much a vector goes in the direction of B. Yeah, vector A goes in direction B. With normalized vectors, that becomes a percentage. Yep, exactly. So this is the backbone for what we're doing here, right? And it's very helpful for a bunch of different reasons. The reason I'm bringing this up is that now we're trying to tackle this new problem of, hey, I want to have a cone. This is a cone. Stop making fun of me. And we're going to have some kind of surface. Let's say surface here. And we need to have a way to determine, hey, how much light does this point here receive? And how much light does this point here receive? So we first have to start by defining like what is a cone. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, but the way I'm going to be approaching it is a cone is defined by a point, a vector, and then a radius. And it's perpendicular, it's a right angle, and this would produce a cone of sorts. But with that basic information, you can derive a cone. And then what we can do, what I'm thinking, is that for any point along a given surface, I'm going to continue this little radius over here, we can get the dot product or get a vector from, like, let's say this surface is where we're trying to render, a vector from here to here, and we can check to see if, hey, is this within the cone? Is this within this cone? So if you have a radius here, we can calculate a dot product for this area here. And we can say it's like, let's say 0.5. And if it points beyond here, it'll probably be a value of like less than that. It'll be like 0.2 or maybe negative. So we can simplify this whole process of determining what fragment gets lit by saying, hey, what's the vector from this origin to the fragment, and what is the dot product of it? If it's less than our defined dot product limit, we're not gonna light it. We're just gonna skip it. And if it's over it, it's lit, brother. We're gonna lit it. It's all light. I think we're gonna start with this, and then we're gonna see how it goes from there. We either achieve greatness or we bust out. Okay, this is kind of where we're at right now. We're either gonna achieve greatness, and my logic here is flawless, or we're gonna bust out. I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna get exposed. It's okay. We're gonna live here. It's okay. It's okay to be a fraud sometimes. That's kind of part of programming. Half of it's thinking that you're this good, and you're actually not. But then you get good. That's like Dark Souls. That's why people like it. Surface normals. Yep. The monitors. Classic. Yes, sir. I like how video games historically exploit the scan lines on a CRT to create more visual detail in the pixel art. Yeah, it's really cool. It's kind of sadly a lost art, because there's some cool effects that, I mean, you can recreate it with shaders and all that kind of stuff, but it's not the same. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, guys, there's a video I can recommend to you about how Earthbound. No, YouTube, please do not do this to me. No, I'm just trying to type. Okay, we're gonna type in here, Earthbound visual effects explained. It's a great video, and like a lot of these effects are actually utilizing per scan line effects, like doing processes within the H blink or V blink time period to create a lot of these weird and wacky visuals.
In reality,
highly recommended if you're interested in this kind of stuff. Highly recommended if you're going to be developing a game for the Super Nintendo, or maybe making your own console like a friend of mine is doing. But yeah, super duper sick. But sadly, we're not doing that. Sadly, we live in the land of blitted graphics, buffered graphics. So it's a very tragic time to be in. Very tragic. Oh man. But anyways, we're gonna start implementing this cone thing. So last time we did a little bit of refactoring in our HLSO code, our GPU code, and we added this cool little switch statement. I said switch statement. Here we go. That implements a function call for these different points. So we go through each light sources. We check to see, hey, is this type a point light? Or is it a line type? Or is it a cone type? And this is the one that's currently unimplemented, but now we're going to be implementing it, making it perfect and beautiful. So I'm probably going to take the same signatures as these functions. Same signatures as these functions. Rename it to cone light process. These should all still be relevant. And then we're gonna start with just a basic idea of like, all right, let's just figure out if we need to skip this light source at all, right? Because if the fragment is outside of the cone, or the surface we're trying to render is outside of the cone, we don't even need to factor in the cone at all. We don't have to do that. Is this Grubbox? Yes, it is Grubbox. Did you know that the shortest commercial flight in the world is in Scotland between Westray and Papa Westray? It takes about 90 seconds. Why? Why do they do that? Love your keyboard and setup, bro. It's aesthetically pleasing. I'm glad you dig it. I'm glad you dig it. I too find it aesthetically pleasing. Which makes it so sad that I'm going to Puerto Rico for 2 weeks and I'm going to have to use a gross modern gaming laptop with an OLED screen and RGB keys. Ugh, disgusting, gross. And it has 4K, like 2K resolution. Ugh, gross. That's too many pixels. That's too many pixels. So we have to find our return condition here. And we're going to have a few things. We're going to have our threshold or limit dot product. That's going to be equal to something. We're going to have, we have the current world position. And we're going to have to calculate the frag dot product. And then basically we're going to do something equivalent to if frag is less than limit dot, we return. Otherwise we continue doing our rendering over here, which I'm not going to lie, I've kind of forgotten what these things do. Like I know this is a color composite thing, and then this is like the luminance thing that I do to kind of subtract from this shadow mask I've computed to be optimal. And then there's total. I don't even know. So we're just gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go through this and try to figure out what I was thinking when I made these things. Using equipment you're using right now. Let's go, Jay. Well, you're an OG. I'm a poser. Frankly, I'm kind of a poser because I grew up during the LCD era. I had TVs, but I use them just not for computing. I use CRTs for game consoles and things like that, not for computing, except maybe in school. But no, I'm a little bit of a poser. I'm not gonna lie. It's okay. We can be posers. So now we just need to calculate this thing, and if we go to the top, we have for ourselves the definition for the data we're using for our cone, which is x radius and the endpoint. And honestly, we're consistently using radius as this, and we're consistently using the YZW components as a vector. So I think I'm just gonna define this end point and define it as YZW. Yeah, I think we're just gonna do that. It's a little scandalous, but I think it's kind of cool. We're gonna go back here, and the cool thing about GPU code is like it's broken right now, but the game is still running. I can just recompile it while it's running, and it's gonna recompile while the game is running. I don't have to stop and replay, so we can see the broken jank in real time. See, look at this. We're in purple land, where everything is purple, guys. Oh, you thought I was making a game with graphics? No, I'm making purple game. Look at that, purple game. That's all we need. Purple game. So we're gonna try to make purple game not a purple game anymore. Do they cause eye strain? Maybe, probably, I don't know. Not gonna lie, coding in CRT is low-key fire. It is pretty fire. I dig it, man. I like it. Is learning programming hard? I mean, kind of. So here's the thing, right? And this is kind of part of like cognitive load theory. But like learning to drive a car for someone for the first time is hard. It can be very difficult to figure that out. But once someone has built up this schema of how to drive a car and how they operate, then it's very easy to pick up something else, or at least not as hard, right? Or even say, let's say this, like learning how to drive a manual shift car is a bit tricky. It takes some mental processing. It's a whole new thing. But once you have that understanding, then picking up another kind of vehicle that is also manual is not as crazy. Like, yeah, there's some differences, but because you built the schema up and paid that cost, adding additional stuff to it becomes easier. So the same thing with programming. If you're starting from scratch, it can be difficult because you're paying this upfront cost to build this new way of thinking about writing code. So or just a new way of thinking in general. So the cost it starts up pretty high, and then as you encounter certain concepts, it becomes there's additional complexity that comes from that. Whether it be like learning about pointers and pointer math, or learning even just basic object-oriented principles, it can be kind of a overload. But once you pass that threshold, incorporating new things becomes easier. in software. So it's an upfront cost for sure, but it gets way easier afterwards. And even here, I think it's also harder here because a lot of times people are learning how to program in either an academic sense or, you know, with certain stress factors that are attached to it. But if you're learning for just on your own and just chugging through it and trying to do your own thing, then the perceived difficulty might even be lower. It might be like this, depending if you have a good teacher or mentor or whatever. But yeah, it is. When you start programming in middle school, I wanted to make a game. I googled how do you make a game. It said you need to use C++ and make a game engine. And I tried C++ for like, and I was able to print out stuff and I did a for loop. And then I was like, all right, this is not as cool. And then I went to Game Maker. So we have this thing we need to figure out though, which is this. How do we get this 0.5? Or how do we get this dot product threshold from this point? Because we have this endpoint defined. We have the start, we have the end. So we can calculate a vector that's going out. So that's going to be the tricky thing, is getting the vector that goes out. What we can do, and this might require maybe some more data, because there's certain ambiguity. You can define like one point here, but trying to get like a perpendicular point to that can be kind of weird. Like you can do a cross product, but you still need another vector. So I see a lot of times like they have one vector of a specific type. They use an arbitrary one like vector 1, 0, 0. Do a cross product and they'll get some kind of vector that's perpendicular to this one. And then they use these two new vectors, do a cross product, and then they get, for sure, another vector that's perpendicular to both of them. What's up, Richard? Good to see you. But, yeah, this is going to be a finagly thing, I'm thinking. Or we can like do something where we pre-compute this value here in the CPU side. We can do that. That actually might be easier. Because on the CPU side of things, we have the transform, and then the transform has its local forward and back or whatever, and we can derive this stuff. Or we can have like more information in the CPU side, and then like a mama bird, it chews it up and then spits it into the GPU code. So the GPU doesn't have to do more work than it needs to achieve the same effect. There's quite a few ways to go about this. Okay, you know what? Let's start with this. Before I do anything else here, let me just start defining what data we're going to be providing in. Let's just start there. We have this whole Cozy Light class here, right? And we have this whole switch statement for the different type of data that's going to be provided. And we have this cone one. So we can start prototyping like, hey, how is this going to look like to render it using gizmos, and then we can kind of go from there. And it's just not happy because we're reusing stuff, we're using data. So I'll just define these bad boys over here. What am I doing? Here we go. There we go. And then we go over here. Thank you. Perfect. And then we're going to draw the line as well from here to here. And it's going to be defined by YZW. We also need to have the radius, which I think we already have this defined. Do we not? Oh, we just access the data raw? Oh, no, we're going to actually use a float for this radius. And we're going to have it be set to Radius is equal to light data dot x. Yes, beautiful. Precisely what I wanted. And we're gonna replace this with radius. Oh, what's up, guys? I'm sorry I didn't see you. What's up, Sorry Secra? And then what's up, Garuv? My boy Terrell. What's going on, man? What's up, Xavier? Spicy Lesbian. I love the setup. Thank you. It's a very nice setup. It's a nice departure from my regular setup. I mean, my regular setup is pretty normy, except for my keyboard. I usually use a split keyboard that lets me go way faster. But you know, sometimes you have to take life easy. You have to slow down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you gotta just take it easy. Take it easy. So, you know, we bust out the Model M, IBM. Take it a little bit easy. Enjoy life a little bit. Smell the roses. We have our cone. Okay, we have to do this. We have to figure this out. I think the simplest thing right now is gonna be like drawing a wire sphere for right now. I said drawing a wire sphere. Thank you. And we use radius. That should be good enough. Now we just have to get a vector on there. So that's what we're gonna be figuring out, is like finding an edge point. That's our goal, is to calculate this in some form or fashion. Okay, I would like to recommend a split keyboard, but I can't really, because like I'm not happy with how much I paid for what I get. I still like my ErgoDox keyboard, so let me show you. This is what I rock normally. This is my professional grade, I'm gonna get things done, dude. Let's be super productive keyboard. This is the money maker, all right? It's pretty good, but it's only good because I forced it to be good. Like, the layout's great, the build quality is pretty rough, and then I had to get custom switches and keycaps and everything because, you know, I didn't like the stuff they have. But the build quality is kind of jank. These connectors are kind of finagly. But these are the only things I know. I want to try a Kinesis out one day, and then I can give you a better recommendation. But yeah, these are my bad boys. I even have I made a custom case. So like, I think I mentioned that I have a game I worked on previously. I haven't released. I'm gonna return to it, called Crimson Crown, and I made a custom keyboard case just for that game. So it has the game logo imprinted. I carved it out, I stained it, I painted it and everything, and installed the hardware. And it had this perfect case for my keyboard. So I'd go to work, I'll bust this bad boy out, pull out the custom tool, and you just get to work. I just start coding, and then I finish for the day, put it back in here, we get going. Even has the Cozy Cabin Games logo imprinted on here. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera. But yeah, it's been a while since I used it. But yeah, I need to find another keyboard. I'll QA and find a bug in this so quickly. Probably, in fact, I'm gonna be doing this game. I'm in the Discord. I'm putting public playtests. So I'm trying to do it like every 2 weeks again. I used to do that very regularly, and then after the prototype launched, I stopped. But we're gonna start rolling that back up again because I want to get some feedback from people. I want to start picking your brains and also finding out all the problems here, but we'll do that. What I'm working on, we're making great lighting. That's what we're doing. We're implementing cone lighting because we're not using, even though we're working in Unity, we have our own custom light pipeline, and I want to add more custom lights, different types of lights in there so it can have more tools as a level designer. AI will replace you in 2 years. Let's see, man. So far, AI has been very much a liability, but let's see if they can thread that needle of like marginal benefit. Oh my goodness, I keep forgetting that I have my Twitch alerts on, even though I'm not streaming on Twitch anymore. Thank you, whoever followed. I appreciate it. Does it even show up here? Nah. QA for 13. Yo, you've been in QA for 13 years. Oh, so you're a professional at breaking stuff. Replace developers at all. AI doesn't use best practice. Codes will have flaw. Well, here's the thing, right? Like, is there a thing called best practices? I'm sorry, I need to eat, guys. 1 second. Like, even the definition of clean code is not applicable everywhere. Like, best practice is very much contextual to whatever environment you're working. Like, even with the same language and the same tools, different problem spaces warrant different types of approaches to architecting your code, into structuring it, different paradigms even. It's very finagly. It's very finagly. So how are we gonna do this? But yeah, it's not like I'm not an AI. I mean, I don't like the consequences of AI, like the waterizing, it's like it has some of the worst parts of crypto, but at least with some marginal, like, actual utility compared to crypto. But like, I don't like the GPU like the energy costs, and how it screws over as artists. But like, beyond that, if we ignore that and actually try to use it as it is optimistically, because I've tried to, it's actually still quite oftentimes more of a liability. Which is why I stopped using it, because it's not really helpful in the way that you'd hope it would be. Okay, we have a question. We have a decision to make, because we can define this purely in terms of world space position, or we can use a transform to actually inform the orientation of this data. I almost feel inclined to use a transform to inform how the point light is positioned, in all honesty. And I'm realizing that our data here is also a bit incomplete, because we have start and end, so that's going to define distance. Never mind. So we really just need distance. What's up, Nitan, Simone, Snow? What's going on? It's best to name your variable something that describes what you're trying to do. I mean, kind of, but even then, like, there's different ways of doing that, because you can have variable names that are very descriptive, that make primitives. Some people even prefer like wrapping simple stuff in a new data structure, so that instead of having like private string ID or something, they instead have a specific like ID struct that's contextual to whatever, like for example, maybe a mesh ID, and then it has this string attached to it inside as a field. And then they use that instead, because then all of a sudden the data type itself is actually informing the information, like the naming of this thing and how you utilize and work with it. And I mean, there's a bunch of different levels of it, and there's no one size fit all. There's different scenarios where either one is beneficial, right? And then yeah, it's a whole thing, man. It's a really whole thing. But yeah, I'm thinking about using orientation actually. Instead of having end be defined as like as the endpoint, I'm actually thinking more in as far as what's exposed to the UI. I think we're gonna have like float distance and use that instead. And now light data would have a different type of means of encoding stuff here, where light data would be like dot, I don't know. We have X is reserved for radius, so we can use Y instead. And we have distance, and then we use like transform dot down. There's forward, right? But there's also a down vector, or there's an up vector we can use. Do they have a down vector? No, they have up. So we just use negative up. What's up, Teresa? Personal game project? What kind of game are you making, dude? Let me show you. Let me show you in a second. My bad. Yeah, you just have to realize that I'm gonna get sucked into the whole. Oh, I forgot shaders are still broken. Recompiling domain. You can find it pretty chill, man. Why would you wrap a primitive in a struct? What's the point? In case you want to extend it. There's times where you want to extend additional functionality that isn't part of the primitive, right? So like if you have a primitive wrapped in the struct, and then let's say later down the line you want to add additional changes, now that primitive doesn't work and serve its purpose, and you need to have additional things, either extra data or maybe extra functions or stuff like that, that you don't want to have apply everywhere else. Well, if you change that type, everything breaks. But if you just extend a currently existing struct, nothing breaks in the project for the most part, and it's easy to extend it. There's very light cost to extending that struct for a primitive. So, and it's just helpful for documentation sometimes, right? Because if you just have a string, you're like, all right, I don't know how to format this string. But if you have a struct and it, like, let's say you have documentation that links to other parts of the code base where it tells you what this ID is relevant for, or you can do I don't know, some mesh system or whatever, then another developer, they're like, all right, it's not just a primitive, it's a specific thing that's used somewhere else. It has a specific type of formats that's defined over there, and I can see everything that's relevant to it. And that's like something you just don't quite get from this. I mean, you can also, I guess, technically do that here too, but like, there's something about a struct that, and being able to go to the definition of that kind of lowers, or at least organizes things a bit differently. But like I said, it's not always, because there's plenty of times where a primitive is perfectly fine and suitable. What's going on, Sad? What language is C#? Yup. Hello, new here. What are we doing? Let me show you. Let me just make sure I fix my little shader so we don't see the world of pink anymore. And hopefully we should be able to escape world of pink. We're still in pink world. Pink world. Pink world. Okay, 1 second. Where is the issue here? Is it because of the function I've defined here that you're mad at me? Yes, you are. I don't see any syntax errors, so I'm just gonna hide this, and then hopefully life goes back to normal. Yeah, life goes back to normal. That's what we're talking about. Without a mouse, a lot of effort. So the basics at the end of the day is just Vim and i3. Those are your two friends to be able to do coding and just navigating your system without having to use a mouse. So this is the game we're working on. It's made in Unity, but we're doing a lot of weird stuff. And we have our own lighting system. And as you see, we have one version of it here, a line light that's defined like it's a light that's one line. You don't have that in Unity, I'll tell you that much. And then we have a point light over here, which is like, it's a regular point light. It's a point in 3D space that gives off or radiates light everywhere. And now we're working on making a cone light. And earlier in the stream, we discussed like, hey, what is a dot product? And then how does that factor into how we're going to calculate and illuminate things in the cone light? And now we're just trying to unify or structure the CPU code to do things the way I want it to. And we're having some oddities here. In fact, I think I should probably start with the custom editor we have, because there are some things that we're gonna have to define here, such as we're for sure gonna have to define radius. We're gonna have to define another type of data. This is gonna be, I don't know, distance. And then, actually, we can even define the rest of this here, because we're going to calculate this endpoint anyways. So we're going to have... Yeah. Okay, Brain Blast. Do we even need this current endpoint? I don't think we even need to encode this data. I think we could just stay with just the dot product threshold and that'll be good enough. Looks great, thank you. Looks good, thank you. What's up, our coding corner? Damn, I like your setup, but thank you, I appreciate it, man. That mechanical is way too loud. I'm sorry, man. I'm trying my best. I'm not. I'm actually kind of slamming on this bad boy, but one day I'm gonna do a stream with my regular setup. And you're gonna see the difference. It's kind of funny because the split keyboard, chatter, Morgan, who is a regular, they said that it sounds like Mr. Krabs walking when I code on that. It's pretty. And ever since I heard that, I've never been the same because I'm like, now I just hear Mr. Krabs walking. That's all I hear is Mr. Krabs walking when I type on that keyboard. It's like kind of ruined it for me, man. Low-key. It's like one of those thought poisons, those cognitive poisons, where it's like once you know this thing, you can't unknow it. It's very tragic. What are the switches? They're linears. They're like QT or KT strawberries. A lot like the mechanical keyboard, but drives me nuts. Yeah, I'm sorry, Winston. We'll see what we can do about it. What's up, Cool Kip? Walking is crazy. Yeah. The name of the keyboard, this one's an IBM Model M. My split key is an Ergodox keyboard. It's an Ergodox keyboard. But yeah, I feel like every time I use it, I'm like, arg, 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 arg. I just want to say money. In fact, I should really make a Mr. Krabs simulation game one day. There's 2 days to make that game. That's it. Distance, okay. And then, what do we do here? Distance. Are we still gonna encode? I have to make decisions, man. I just have to make decisions. My typing speed is not that great, honestly. I think yesterday I did like a type monkey test and it was like 82. This is Kotlin, no C#, just good old fashioned C#. But the monitor is a warehouse artifact. What does that mean? Enlighten me. Every key press is a register sound. Hilarious. Hilarious. I think we have to put some data that's not going to be encoded into this. If you go back here, we technically only need the origin point and the dot product threshold. That's really all we really need. So I'm kind of thinking we only encode this, and everything we do is just to calculate this one value, which is to say that once we have distance that the players provided, I have to think for a second, man. 82 is decent though. Minus 32. Hey man, Ollie, I used to be there too. A year ago or 2 years ago, I was there, man. I think I was topping out 40, and then I actually learned how to type. It was crazy, man. And are you done when it's done? Yeah, I'm done when it's done, man. We're still pre-production. We're still figuring out stuff. I think you can only really start giving proper measurements once you get into production and reach your vertical slice. All the knowledge of trig has escaped me. I type with one finger hand like a true blue-collar worker. This is peak, guys. This is how it's meant to be. Yeah, I appreciate it, Hoodle. How many coding languages I know? I don't even know, man. I mean, what is knowing? Because if it's just syntax, then quite a lot. But if it's just like, if we're talking about the deep stuff, then yeah, I don't know. I know like Rust, C#. I've been doing a lot of C++ stuff lately. C is cool, but I haven't done too much with it. I don't know. And then we include GPL. If we include GPU stuff, then there's HLSL and what's OpenGL's thing? Is it just OpenGL? I used Odin once, so I am an expert in Odin, totally, guys. So Odin, I know Odin. I don't know, man. The TypeScript, yeah, I've done Python stuff, but I'm not gonna say I know that. The TypeScript is probably the close. The TypeScript, but TypeScript's kind of cheating because it's just saying, hey, I know C#. Like, TypeScript is like, all right, I'm gonna pretend I'm using C#. And we put Java in this category because it's basically the same thing. I'm basically just doing Java or Java, yeah. I really don't know, man. There's probably some other stuff, but and there's also the question of what do you consider a programming language? Because if you HTML is my favorite programming language. It's the programming language of my dreams. Bottle below the monitor. Is that vitamin D? It's a vitamin B complex. I need to take vitamin D though once winter starts up. But I know it's a vitamin B complex. I haven't been taking it as much because, I don't really need it. I just have it. But I do take magnesium. That helps. If you guys have carpal tunnel, try taking magnesium glycinate. Okay, this is not medical advice. It just sounds like medical advice. This is what helped me, all right? And then you can consider it with your doctor or whatever. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Like, if you take a little bit too much magnesium, your kidneys are going to take it out for you. But yeah, I had really bad carpal tunnel, which is why I started doing the split keyboard and a bunch of other stuff. I'd wake up with like my fingers numb, and then it started progressing downwards. So one day I was like waking up with my whole arm numb. But I started taking magnesium glycinate, doing a little bit of hand workouts, and never had issues like that again, man. How is HTML your favorite, bruh? I'm being a little I'm joking. I joke. To hack the alien ship. Let's go. Of mine. How you even code lights? There are millions of them. How do you code lights? Like in general? Like in a game engine? That's like a whole thing. And there's a bunch of different ways to crack that egg. So, Sujin Sensei, I'm so vitamin D deficient. My doctor prescribes me some big boy supplements for it. Yeah, I get prescribed occasionally vitamin D pills. I'm trying to do better. In the summers, I actually go touch grass and I don't need to take the pills, but Midwest's winters, man. You start going deficient, man. What color theme? Glove box dark theme. Okay, I'm just gonna think out loud here. We're just gonna go back to our cginc file because we've redefined what we need in terms of data. The contract that's happening between us and the CPU have changed. So no longer are we using endpoint. Instead, we just need a dot product threshold. And then that's really what we need. That'll be why. As for the ZW, I don't think we need anything else beyond this to do our calculations, if I'm gonna be honest with you. I would maybe want to have the threshold. Oh, I might want to have the endpoint still so we can have a radiance happen. Because like when you have a point light, it's not just a block of... I guess in some cases it is, where it's just a block of solid light. Like, I'm like, usually there's fringes. It's not just not lit. It's like, no, it's not lit and it's a little bit more light. And then, it's definitely much more solid in the body, but it's still kind of soft. And you kind of need to have the center point to calculate that. Oh, I might need more data than I have here. Are you using Unity? You mentioned something that inferred you aren't. I am using Unity. I'm just doing a lot of weird stuff with it. A lot of weird stuff with it. Yeah, it's weird. Most of my Unity games I end up implementing engine level features because why not? I mean, there's reasons for it. Yeah, fall off. Yep. My carpal tunnel, not gonna lie. That's good. Hey, man. People gotta use what you gotta do to get the job done did. But yeah, if we're gonna do fall off, thank you, Dev, for that term analogy. I definitely want to have, or do we even need to? Do I even need to? Oh, we're gonna need to have vectors of some kind because we have like we have this light position. We have these intensities, or yeah, we have the position here, but we need a second position. Oh, do I add another vector float 4 buffer array? It's not a big deal. I tried Godot. It's not for me. It's not for me. I tried Godot because I have a development kit, and it's nice to be able to have go to another engine where a lot of the basic infrastructure I've made for my engine works fine. But yeah, I don't. It's not for me. Not for me. Maybe future updates will meet my wants and needs and requirements, but it just doesn't do it for me right now. Okay, we're not going to worry about radiance or fallout. We're just going to do lit or not lit for now, and then we'll figure everything else out from there. For right now, we just need the radius. We need a dot product threshold, or not project, dot product. Thank you. And then we just need to provide that into here. And I think we're going to do a lot of this calculation here. Oh, it's weird because this gizmo is using the data. So we have to calculate the gizmo differently because we're not going to have the data we need to accurately do the things we want to do. But let's start with just providing the data we need here, which is this C? I wish. Dev ASMR to code your brain too. Thank you, Darnell. I appreciate that you like it. Tendons. Yep. Do I need to learn to code? All my vibe coded projects smell bad. Yeah, they're probably not going to be. The more you want to do something interesting or unique with your project, the less vibe coding is going to help you and become much more reliability. That's just how it's going to be. Radius, current distance. Okay. Maybe we should have a thing down here to populate all the data so it looks very nice and clean. And then we're gonna have like different variables because we're gonna have to calculate some of this stuff. Or maybe we can just provide the dot product variable directly to the user, so like they're not thinking in terms of radius, they're just thinking about in terms of the dot product. That actually might be the way we go. That actually might be easier. Because like, how would you reverse the calculation of a dot product? I never thought about that. How would you take, given a float which represents a dot product and a vector, calculate another vector? Actually, no. That would be kind of weird because it would be yeah, for purposes of Gizmo, it would be very kind of undefined behavior. I mean, we just use the transform relative stuff then for that. Okay, but I think we're going to do that. I think that's easier to think about in terms of percentages instead of radius or any of this other things. Holy Windows 98! How do you keep yourself at object-oriented programming? I find it hard to deal with classes always move towards functions and functions. I mean, yeah, there's like whole... I mean, part of this is you can't escape it in Unity land. I mean, you kind of can, but yeah. On the other hand, like, I like having data structured explicitly. And thinking about it in those terms is fine. When I can, I usually try to think, like, I really don't do as much object orientation. I mean, I do it quite a bit from work because it just kind of drilled into me now. But like, I know there's other things. I know, like, Lisp, or there's like a lot of Lisp like stuff and that you can do that's pretty cool. And there's a bunch of different alternatives to like modern languages, like even like C, that are made to be more that they use like that. What was it? That Lisp type syntax. I forgot what it's called. But yeah, what game are you making? I'll show you in a second. You change your cursor up and down without arrow keys or mouse. What are these settings? These are Vim. In any IDE that you use, just search up ID of Vim, and you'll find this package that lets you treat this terminal like Vim. Vim, if you don't know, is this glorious text editor that lets you do these things. Excuse me. Lets you manipulate your terminal. Lets you do a bunch of fun things. And then you have the classic thing of people being like, how do I exit Vim? And it's like, you don't exit Vim. You always stay in Vim, even in real life. Like, mostly data modeling, just spent years learning to produce electronic music. Now I want to learn code. Hey, you can do both, man. EDM music's pretty sick. Or not, I'm not saying you do EDM. You say electronic music. I know Vim, Hecx, Helix Vim, Helix Neo Vim. Oh, sick. Okay, cool. Vim tutor that already knows C#, Java, JS, Kotlin, SQL. What do you recommend in terms of what? Like, these languages you provided to me do vastly different things and are designed for different types of problem spaces. So you might have to give me a little bit more information to work with there. Because if you're trying to make a game, and me telling you, yeah, brother, use PostgreSQL. It's the bomb, man. It's going to be a bad day. You could probably do it. I think there's a guy who did make, like, Tetris, I think, with SQL in some form or fashion. Let's first spell Tetris correctly. An SQL query. Oh, an SQL query. But, like, that's not the ideal. You wouldn't... You're like... like, Half-Life 3 is not going to be made in SQL. Or maybe it is, and that's why it's taking so long. Like, who knows, man? Who knows what Valve is doing? Where do you want to work? Oh, you're asking that guy, Darnell. Look at this psycho coding without documentation or AI. We just go raw dog, man. We do it the way our forefathers did it. And honestly, it's kind of better that way, man. Who needs multiple monitors? I mean, I have a second monitor, but that's for other purposes. Most of my work I could do with one monitor, man. Oh, what am I trying to do here again? I'm sorry, guys. I'm losing my train of thought. We had radius. We take that. We got that. Sweet. Oh, yeah. I was going to use dot product to define stuff just directly. Yeah, that's what I was doing. So as far as the user is concerned, me, we're just getting the dot product directly. So get rid of this. And then we're going to say source.y is going to be the dot product. No, source.light data. Okay, this is getting redundant to type out every single time, so we're just going to do this. Oh my goodness, I suck. We're just going to do data. Just going to do data. And then every single place where you do source.lightData.data, we're just going to replace the data. So let's go, let me remember this, underscore source light data data. So we're going to grab everything here. We're going to do %s class, And I already forgot. Source dot light data dot data. I believe that's the lowercase data, or is it capital D? I think it's capital D. Yeah, capital D. Capital D. And we're going to replace that with just data, lowercase. G. Yes, beautiful. Look how clean this is. Oh, I replaced this by accident though. Whoopsie. Yeah. Very nice. Now we can just do... Wait, did I not do the thing? No, yeah, I've done the thing. Alright, cool. Now we can just do data .y. Also gonna go like GDScript, which is more like Python. Yeah, I don't like that. I really don't like that. I know there's pros and cons to GDScript, and like it allows for dynamic recompilation and all that kind of stuff. I don't like it. It's not for me. What's up, Rod? Yo, you are not even using a mouse. Where do I start learning this stuff? Vim and then I3 to do window navigation. It is the coolest thing. All the cool kids in the block are doing it. You can do this, you can do that. You can do everything, man. You can do this. You do this. Oh. You can move windows around. It's pretty great, man. So I3 if you're using Linux, and then Vim for your code editor of choice. So we have a radius X, we have our dot product, and then we eventually assign these things. No, not WSA. No. Dot. So this is gonna be our dot threshold, and then we just have this be reflected in our UI. Distance, yeah, we don't need this anymore. Or actually, we do need distance, don't we? Yeah, that is a factor, but that's not going to be encoded into the data. Or is it? We can just have an infinite comb. No, we don't want to have an infinite comb. We need to have a distance parameter. I'm finding that us not having more data to work with is becoming more of a liability. I really feel that, because now I forget that yes, that we should exclude fragments from here based off distance, and it shouldn't be just, oh yeah, okay, no, we can still make this work. We can have z be distance, and then once we passed, so we're gonna have extra conditions here. We're gonna have our check where we go, hey, all right, you passed the radius check, you passed the dot product threshold check, and now if this fragment's too far away, we're gonna assume it's too far away. We just skip from there. So we can still get away with not having to encode the endpoint position. So okay, I think we're still good there. And this would still be just a parameter that gets set within our data. Dot z. Yes. Data z distance. No, not that. Why? I didn't want that at all. And let's get rid of this TM Pro because we don't need it. And there's an error up here. Oh yeah, I was premature. There we go. Okay, sorry guys. Congrats on your recent degree. Who graduated? Specific text makes something happen, similar to how you do something when someone tells you to do something. It's all set of instructions. I'm sorry if I missed out in the conversation, guys. I get a little wired in, you know, and then I just I lose track of things. Okay, distance or fall off. I'm back. You remember me, Priyanka? You came in at the end yesterday. It's good to see you. what you're looking for is the fundamentals of computer systems. The short version, engineers make platforms for other engineers to do their job easier and provide some capabilities. Yeah, that's the beauty of like QA, or not QA, of DevOps and stuff like that, if you're talking about it. Use Yeoman to template your boilerplate. What is Yeoman? Many layers of platform capabilities. Right now, I'm stuck with SQL JDB's connector. Just won't pass data to client. I think now I'd try a CRT monitor. How does it feel to use? It feels pretty great, man. It feels pretty good. John, it's eye straining. Trust me. Hey, man. Maybe I'm just on copium because I'm so used to crystal clear graphics for my, my normal work stuff that just having something different feels nice. I will tell you, it's not going to be convenient for a lot of things. You have to resize things. A lot of UIs aren't meant for this. But if you can get over it, it may be pretty cool. I have to head out. Hey, you have a good one, Spicy. So have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you. You guys have a good one. Mostly JavaScript. Thank you, Burnished. Glad you dig the setup. And what's up, Shanker? TypeScript, Node.js? Nah, we're bunheads over here, dude. We just do bun, man. There was that recent NPM vulnerability, too. But it just makes me not want to use any JavaScript in my life. Ooh. We do that for here. We could just construct a new vector. And then we have our case line. I kind of like this more. I don't know why it's showing it's grayed out, but I'm not sure which syntax I like more. I like this because I can initialize this as explicit values. Oh, I'm overriding data. Ooh, this is a no-go. This is a no-go. No, we have to stick with this. And I can still initialize this with a custom value if I really want to. Although, really, it's not ultimately not important, but... Okay, yeah, we can't do this anymore because... Now that we're having data stored in a... Oh, it's in a pass-by value. Ooh. Ooh. I believe this is... Yikes. Oh, okay, this is where my knowledge is going to be a little bit tested. I'm not sure if this... I don't think so. It's a struct. So it's passed by reference by default. So this data is just a copy of this data, which means that we still have to set these parameters explicitly here to make sure that... Yep. So I can't modify this data here. I have to actually modify this still explicitly. Unless we're gonna do a ref. Vector 4 ref. Can I get a vector 4 ref? Okay, I'm gonna assume this works, but if there's a bug that crops up later, you guys know what's the issue. It's I was a little bit lazy. I was a little bit lazy and I didn't want to type things. Trying out Dwarf Fortress. What are your initial thoughts on that? Are you talking about me? I don't remember doing Dwarf Fortress. I didn't remember thinking about I want to do it. Decline to answer. I don't remember. I want to do Dwarf Fortress, but I never done it. I'm making Shakar. I'm making some rendering. I'm making some custom lighting for my Unity game, and specifically, we're adding some cone light supports, because I think it's very cool. You guys probably seen this. There's a bunch of games you play, and you can already know what kind of engine it was made in just because of how everything looks. And it's because they're kind of just using the simple materials that the engine provides, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to have something that has a bit more of maybe a unique feel or some odd artifacts. I mean, part of the game is like trying to make it feel like it's a game made for a console that doesn't exist. So consoles oftentimes have weird artifacts due to like the way it's implemented or hardware or whatnot. So I ended up implementing our own little light model that doesn't use any Unity lighting components or shaders and everything. And as a result, we have a bunch of interesting light sources that are not available in Unity, like specifically this line light, which is like a light source defined by a start and end point. And that's cool, but now I want to have a cone light because, I think that's super cool to have. So I'm working on implementing that currently. And we talked a little bit at the top of the stream about some of the mathematical ideas that are going into our little cone light process in our shader. And now we're just doing some changes here because there's like 3 steps to this. There's 3 steps to this, guys. Let's just talk a little bit about the architecture. Let's talk about the architecture a little bit. Can I talk about the architecture? Let's talk about the architecture. And shapes, yes. The TLDR is that for any changes we make to the lighting model now, after our refactors we did yesterday, there's 3 things we have to change. We have to change the editor, the UI, so it can populate the data correctly. We have to modify the light component so that it displays it correctly in the Unity scene, like the gizmos and all that kind of stuff. And we finally have to update the shader, the pipeline shader, so that, or I guess the light model, so that it does the proper computation in the GPU side when rendering our new light source. So we've kind of defined the data this guy needs, and then we're going through here to populate the things that are required, and then we're going to go back to here and actually implement the logic for having the cone do the rendering the way we want it to. So that's what we're working on. That's where we're at currently. We're trying to get there. Been great hanging out. Hey, it's good to have you here, Dev. Good luck in your game. Thank you, man. Classes are passed. Yeah, classes are default passed by reference, but that light data is a struct. And not only is it a struct, it's a struct that isn't boxed. It's filled with just primitives, so it's gonna be passed by value. So I have to do ref to be safe. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll decide to not pay my mortgage and get into game making. Hey, man. Or you can just choose to not have the social life. Like I have my day job and then I do this. And it's actually kind of better because once you have if you require your game to perform well to sustain your life and family and things like that, then it kind of, at least for me, it feels like it would suck the fun out of it. It would be kind of stressful. And I like the way I'm interacting with this, where it's not a need, it's a want, it's my free space, it's my safe space, and I get to just enjoy the process of creation without a publishing company hounding me for release dates or all that kind of stuff, or funding trying to dry up. I guess just to enjoy making the game and try to do it the way I want to. And we get to do fun, weird decisions that, if I was subject to a publisher, I probably wouldn't be allowed to make those decisions. So, it's pretty rad, man. And we're changing the way we define things here because they no longer work as intended. With a normal PC? Yeah, this is a normal PC. This is just basic Linux. I have a source converter that lets it work. It works. I appreciate that you use a visual modeler for sketches. That's one thing that kills me about most dev documentation and convos. It's all just words, which doesn't help my brain. I think in pictures. Yeah, same here. I'm very, at least very early on, I was very picture oriented. So when I did a lot of architecture, I would actually have to do diagrams out explicitly for me to understand what's going on here. Like how we're going to deal with this application structure and deal with data and saving and all these different types of things. Nowadays, I can kind of just do it without doing these things because, after a certain level, you get it ingrained into you, and you start doing it without the need of these visual aids. But sometimes it's still very helpful. You may think I'm doing this to help you guys out, but really, it's kind of helpful for me to explain these things explicitly to myself and to you, because then it clarifies. Okay. Maybe I'm doing something dumb, Or maybe I'm not doing something dumb. Maybe I'm actually a genius. And I just had to illustrate it for me to understand it. Either way, it's something that doesn't happen if you don't make it explicitly by, communicating and visualizing it. We have dot and we have distance, which is going to be z. So you have a radius defined by data.x, dot the product threshold by y, and then we have our distance by z. And now the big one is going to be getting a vector 3 edge point. That's going to be the weird one. Especially now, since we're using the dot product to define this, we need to find like some point based off of the dot product value and this vector or this vector to create this edge vector. So we have the starting point, we have the end point, we have a point defined by the radius and a tangent to this guy. Or the tangent plus the endpoint. And we're trying to find the tangent given a dot product value. So whatever line vector that creates the dot product we're looking for approximately. Brother. Red House. Most definitely also cloud cert doesn't hurt. So mole people cheer you on. To the mole people. What's up, Cozy? That's fair. Wait, your monitor's actually RetroBox. Yep, yes, sir. Talking to people scares me. Are you wearing a blue light glasses with your 1900s mod, 19,000s monitor? No, I probably should though. I'm learning how to code in Vim just to look as cool as you. And dude, honestly, man, the main feature of Vim isn't being more efficient or being able to use a keyboard. The main feature of Vim is being able to go to your coworkers and be like, hey, by the way, I use Vim. So, I know you're smarter than me and you do all these great, cool things, but I use Vim, so I'm actually superior to you. I'm actually better than you by virtue of just knowing and using Vim, okay? Like, yeah, you did this cool, impressive thing. Yeah, I know you solved world hunger, but like, can you go to the top of a file by doing GG? I don't think so. Can you select things just by using your keyboard? I don't think so. So, tough luck. Good luck next time. Maybe just get good, dude. Maybe just get good. Maybe instead of trying to find a cure to cancer, you should have been learning your Vim. Practicing your Vim motions, your macros. Okay, let's see if Unity has, because I don't want to math this out. Unity inverse to dot product. No, AI, get out of here. There's vector dot. I would sure like an inverse to a dot product. Is no one else using a dot product inverse? Am I the only weird, wacky one? Okay, let's just think about this. A dot product is just 1 or 0 based off of it's aligned or not aligned, right? So I can probably do something trigonometric, I think, of like, given, let's even go in here. Let's go to the Miro. So let's start with a case that we know for sure the answer to. Let's see how we can derive the desired result that we're looking for. So we have this vector here. We got this little vector here. And then what just happened? What I didn't want this to happen. When did this happen? Where did you come from? Oh, I pasted by accident. No, I don't want that. So we have that, and then we know we have let's say a dot product of 0.5. 0.5. And that roughly should be a vector that looks like this, somewhere around there. And let's make this like dotted, because that's what we're trying to get to. We're trying to derive that. How do we do this? Oh, you know what we could do? We can just do linear interpolation. Because we have like a vector, we have another vector that we know for sure is perpendicular to. We can make it very easily a perpendicular vector to to this. No, I would sure like to make a line. I would like to make a line. Thank you. So we have a vector here, which is like going to be a dot product of 0, and then we have our main vector. And assuming we know for sure it's going to be a positive value, so I could just do a linear interpolation using the dot product value. That'll produce a vector. We can normalize it so it's part of a unit curve, and then like bada bing, we have our cone, or at least array or something to define our value. And actually, it doesn't have to be normalized. In fact, we want it to be actually the same length as this. So we can probably do like a 3D projection. Like we can have, yes. It's all coming together now. It's all coming together. Now we just have to figure out for making this go from here to here. But hey, we'll just start with this. We just start with this. It's free to comment. I think Vim is good if you vibe with CLI tools. Yeah. His pancreas. What's going on with my pancreas, man? From easily integration of LSP. The same way as... The power of Vim comes from easily integration of LSP. Yep. The same way as VS Code. JetBrains is good for corporate coding. Yeah. I'm just so used to it now. Other people that don't know Vim. Yeah. It's buggy. There are better options. I probably should. I know there's like FigJam and stuff. But if there's any alternatives, please let me know. I would be open to trying them out. I love AI when I want my code to compile and then on a later day have to debug the same amount of time it would have taken me to just code it myself. Best feeling. Love it. Has an ergonomic mouse too. Boo him. You're right. I shouldn't be using this. I should be using this guy here. I should be using the IBM 2-button mouse with no scroll wheel. Very tragic. If only I could zoom in and out, but that's a feature for wusses. I actually have buttons here to zoom in and out. So I don't know what I'm on about. I should be just using this, which is a wild different shrine. Have any thoughts on that? Never tried Emacs. I really don't know. Taking notes in uni. I should probably learn something about Emacs. I know nothing about it. I know you can kind of get a similar kind of, not the same workflow as Vim, but the same end effect of not having to use a mouse to navigate stuff. I just never tried it. Vim found me first, and that's where I'm at. We want this to go down there. That's what we're trying to do. Okay, we're gonna try this. It's not gonna be perfect, but I think having something is better than not having anything. So first we have our oh my goodness, what am I doing? Why am I even using radius? We're not using radius anymore. We're using a dot product. Okay, whatever. We'll fix this later. We have our dot product. We have our distance. We have our transform down. So we're going to do vector 3 transform. Oh no, we're going to do lerp first. And our lerp is going to be between vector 3 or transform dot up negative, and I don't know, let's do transform dot left. Oh, I'm sorry, right. And our p value is going to be the dot value. Cool. So that should be our edge point vector. In world space. And if we draw that, we should be good. In fact, we're gonna make this be here because we're just gonna use this for everything, aren't we? Yeah. And now n is gonna be different. It's gonna be start to transform dot up negative times, oh, this is gonna be for line. Times distance. And then end is gonna be edge. Okay, we're either gonna have glory or bugs. We're gonna have glory or skill issues. That's the two places we're gonna be at right now. Oh, brother. Expand Ray Dong. Dude has ergonomic mouse too, boom. Yeah, yep. It's great. Oh, Emacs is great. Lucid is the best for what you're currently doing. It's fast and easy. Far more of a whiteboard feeling. FigJam is better. Lucid. Let me Google that real quick before we get exposed. Also, by the way, you can use Vim motions in your web browser. Do you know you can do that? Which is a package or a plugin. And then you can why use a mouse when you can just do this? Get rid of that. No, I'm not good. Is this what I'm thinking of? No, that's cars. Unless this company also does, yeah, unless they also do, okay, I don't know how to do back out from here. Fraud alert. Okay, that's Lucid Motors. Why did I click on that? Bugs. Is that many people use Emacs with Vim key combinations, so for many setups you might still need Vim combos. Oh, that's sick, but at least it's not necessary, as it is always a separate mode. Interesting. Also, what's up, Sita? Lucid chart. Okay, my bad. There we go. That seems more like what you're describing. And then, no, I don't want this. Before you sign me up, you should probably sell me on this website. Show me the thing. Okay, diagramming tools. That's cool. But I like using, weirdly enough, for artistic things, I like using my mouse. I guess I can always just use Krita if I really want to, but it's not as nice for diagramming stuff, but... Use cases. Process documentation. Visualizing teams. Technical diagramming. I just want to make sure they have free form and doc manipulation. If they do, it's great. It limits stuff. I don't like it. Okay, so maybe I do FigJam. What's up, Sir Universe? The universe is here. That's it. Just trust me, bro. Okay. I'll give it a try, maybe. I'm not just in my PC. Okay. You can just use your mouth loose chart. Okay, bet. We'll give that a try then. We'll give that a try at some point. Or I'll give it a try off stream maybe. Edge point. Okay, let's just try this. And this is either gonna be great or terrible. I'm bringing back the mouse. I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't commit to the retro. There's some things that I just need to have behave the way I want it to. We're gonna make a new object. We're gonna make this called cone, and we're gonna change this data type to cone. And let's go into the scene and see just how bad or great this is. So we're not expecting it to render anything. I just want to see if it's doing the line stuff the way I'd want it to. So what's the option you want? Do you want to manipulate the radius, or do you want to change the radius? Which flavor of radius do you want today, sir? Yeah, let's change that real quick. Let's just change that real quick, so we know what we're meant to. In fact, while we're here, let's just get rid of radius, because it's not correct anymore. It's not applicable. We're not radius guys anymore. We're dot dudes. Yeah, we're still keeping distance. And then let's modify the other class as well to use the correct information. Radius is no more applicable. X, Y, edge point. Okay, let's see where we're at right now. Just free tools that they don't try to sell you on a service, and it's ultra lightweight. Hey, if you have any good open source ones, I'm super down for it. I tried finding some open source ones a while back, but came up with a little. I couldn't find it. Couldn't find anything that seemed right. Also, I still did the same thing. I forgot to solve the problem. So let's actually do the thing too. And yeah, this is gonna be. Yeah. Let's do distance. Okay, now we should actually have the correct stuff there. And keep in mind, I just want to verify that the dot product thing is behaving the way I want it to. So let's do like 0.5 and a distance of 10 is still fine. Okay, so this is so far kind of troubling. They're really far over there. The down vector should at least still be like down in terms of the local orientation. So clearly something's going wrong. Oh, I know what's going on. These are just vectors. I didn't make them relative to our position. So that's easy fix. Doc, that's an easy fix, man. That's easy fix. We can fix this. We can easy fix this. We just gotta do. First of all, we have start, which is what? Transform that position. Okay, so it's transform that position. Yeah, here we go. Position plus. Or I guess start plus. And then start plus. And that should do it. This is indeed cozy. Oh, you hit the bell? Thank you, man. I think this is the first time I know someone, like I'm not sure, but this is the first confirmed occurrence of someone hitting the bell. It's not kind of weird. I'm so used to YouTubers saying that. I'm not a YouTuber. But somehow that's applying now. Do you feel slightly claustrophobic because of your limited resolution, or do you feel like it better? I feel free. Timurka, I feel free. I feel liberated. 4K resolution, HD graphics, that's really a ball and chain, man. I don't want to see things. I want everything I see in the scene to be kind of an illusion, like a fever dream, if you will. No, but in all honesty, like, it's not really that claustrophobic. I just don't like having to keep moving stuff around, but that's not that bad. That's not that bad. My normal setup, I have things did differently, but one day we'll do a stream where we do that. And hey, look at that. We have our cone. And if I change the dot, yeah, I can make it very tight or very wide. Okay, maybe not that wide. Wait, actually, if I make it like 8.5, interesting, it's actually getting wider. That's not the desired behavior. It should be inverted. Where like the closer to 1 it is, the more narrow it becomes, and the closer to this, it should be inverted. But we're almost there, and then now we just have to like have it be projected and all that. But this is good. This is good. I wonder why this is inverted. Maybe it's just because of the direction I did the dot product in, or the lerping, where I'm lerping from down to right, and I'm using the dot product for that. Maybe I just have to flip these guys, or do 1 minus. I think that should be fine. I appreciate it, Walker. Thank you. MS has an online free version for diagramming. I forgot the name, V something, but it isn't great in my opinion. Okay. What size is that monitor? Is 13 inches? I don't even know. I can pull out a... I could go find like a ruler or something, but... Yeah, that's the thing we're missing, Mod. Someone else mentioned that too. Maybe we have to do that. Why are you using Unity over Unreal? Because Unreal has this architecture predefined for you, and you're kind of forced to use that architecture. And you can definitely do your own stuff, but like it seems far more baked into using their hierarchies for all these different things, right? Whereas Unity, it's very loosey-goosey. It doesn't enforce an architecture to you beyond just like the model behavior stuff and maybe some of the UI stuff. So it gives you a lot more freedom to build your own application architecture for handling all your stuff. Sway or i3? I've only used i3. I didn't even know there's an alternative to Sway to i3. So I guess for right now, i3 by virtue of that's what I'm currently using. But who knows if there's something better? I'm never opposed to it. i3's been pretty good for me, but who knows? Maybe the grass is greener somewhere else. The last thing I want to do, at the very least, is try to have this line be projected onto this plane here. So what I think I'm going to do is do a vector projection for that. So, and that shouldn't be that crazy. Vector. You have edge point, and then we're going to do edge point equals vector 3 project on plane, and then what do you need from me, in what order? All right, you need a vector and a plane normal. Beautiful. So we're gonna do this because I'm tired of doing vector, or I guess I could just use transform. Okay, 1 second. The plane normal is the second parameter, so we use up, and then we're gonna use edge. Edge point. And this is like relative. So this is gonna be normalized, I think, at origin. So it's to be projected at origin, and then it's gonna be offset from there. Okay. Oh. The plane is, in this case, situated at origin, so we need to have this be relative to that. Ooh, ah, ee, ooh, ah, ee, rah, 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 rah. Jump scare. I'm sorry, how did I jump scare you? Sway just i3 on Wayland. Oh, okay. I'm just curious about your graphics stack. Yeah, I'm still using on Xorg. I mean, I don't know what's the difference. Honestly, like, I know there's Wayland and there's Xorg. I really don't know what's the big pro con here. Like, I haven't looked too deep into it. And I'm not opposed to switching to Wayland. I just need someone to sell me on it. I need someone to sell me, to give me the list of like, all right, this is why Xorg is trash, and you're actually lesser of a person for not using Wayland. Said hi. Guide me, please, deeply. Which coding language should I learn first? I just started coding and learning C++. I want to make apps and games. Interesting. All right, so here's the thing, right? I'm going to let you know up front. I am probably not the best person to ask this. I don't do much app development. I do games. So the first question is like, okay, do you want to make your games from, like, your apps and games from scratch? Or do you want to use engines? Okay, that's a very important distinction. Do you want to use engines, or do you want to just do things hand-rolled? Already that decision tree right there, a lot of implications, a lot of pros and cons, and they're going to be doing vastly different things. I need to sleep. I plan to return to the cozy cabin with the loud crickets and the typewriter keyboard. Yes, sir, Winston. Thank you. Double tap the screen, everyone, to show some love. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thanks for encouraging everyone. Yeah, man. 17.9 gigabytes of RAM. Utilized currently out of... 1 second. Why is it saying 46 gigabytes of RAM available? I have 64 gigs. Who's stealing my RAM? Who's going into my house and taking my RAM sticks? What is going on? Do I have to like replug them in? Is this including OS overhead? I don't know. But yeah, start there. Very two distinct stuff. If you want to use engines and you're using C++ and you're enjoying it, then do some Unreal Engine. It's going to be chunkier for your app sizes, but I don't know. That kind of depends on your engine. If you're going to use Unity or Godot, then C# or GDScript. I would recommend you stay with a statically typed language. That's going to be great for you. That's going to help you out in the long run. I'm telling you. Statically typed languages, they save lives. They save lives. I'm trying to sleep. That RAM consumption is keeping me awake. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know why the RAM is being... I mean, it's I guess Rider, but even then, like, geez, man. Maybe it's all the websites we have. We have a bunch of NeoCities websites for inspiration for when we do the when I do the website rework. But yeah. But it can't be taking up that much RAM, right? Let's try closing a tab. First of all, let's save this. Oh, it's already saved. It's not gonna be that much. It's a couple of JPEGs. I went from 24 to 26. That was something. Is that just what's going on here? Is that what's just going on here? These ding-dang websites? Probably Miro is the problem here. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't know. I doubt that that's the case. I'll just have to investigate. I think not everyone would get much value from Vim shortcuts. I usually spend time making tiny or small algorithms and lots of fine-tuning optimizations. I barely write code, mostly reason about it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like... here's something I've heard, right? Which is, like, the biggest bottleneck for coding isn't necessarily typing. It's really just the cerebral aspect of trying to solve the problem and doing that. So yeah, I guess in that sense, like, yeah, coding is, there's the marginal benefit, maybe not that great, because like you're still bottlenecked by oftentimes thinking through problems. I will say though that the faster you type or you can navigate your tools, the faster it is to iterate through different things, and the faster time it is, because like there's a lot in game dev especially, like, there's a lot of times where you're iterating and doing tweaks, and the faster you can cycle through those iterations of testing things out, the more iterations you can do, and the more you can do at your time. And that's why I find a lot of benefit in doing this kind of stuff. But I do agree that for a lot of people, like, this is maybe not the most pertinent thing. I still think it's pretty important or very beneficial. There's a lot of benefits to getting good at just typing and navigating your tools. But yeah. Wayland renders nicer and has no screen tearing. Interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. I should look into that then. So what was the issue? Yes. So this is oriented around the origin. But the plain normal is oriented at the origin. Actually, this should be fine. It's still going to be a vector point. No, it's not fine. No, it's not fine at all. Oh, this is actually terrible. Okay. All right, how about this? We're just going to do this. We're not going to worry about this edge point thing for right now. I'll just comment it out, because I think we have enough to start implementing the rendering, and I just want to start jumping into there. I want to see something visual happen already. I want to see some cool lighting. So we're just gonna jump into it. We're gonna update our we're gonna update our documentation, because no longer is this X, this is actually now X, and this is now Y. And then we're gonna go into our function here, uncomment this out. And then we have our index that we're gonna be getting stuff from. We already have our world position and world normal, so that's pretty rad. And you're gonna have to factor this in too, so that's a whole thing we're gonna have to deal with, but that's fine. Giving that good hypnospace all-out feeling. Yeah, I think I want to play some hypnospace outline today. If we can fix this within like the next 10 or 30 minutes, I'd like to try a little bit of hypnospace. Is write unit tests for your vector math to make sure everything is consistent or you'll go insane. Nah, dog. Why would you do that? Why would you want a unit test, man? That's smelling like test-driven development. That sounds like early fast validation. But like for GPU code, it's super cool that like I can modify stuff and you see it happen in real time over there. I know there's probably a way to unit test GPU stuff, but honestly, I kind of enjoy just doing this visually. At least for this stuff, it's very visual, so it's a bit apparent to debug what's going on here. Frag dot limit. So what are we doing here? So we have our dot product. So we have to first calculate our dot product, right? So we have our position. That's a fragment world space position. We need to get our actual position for the light source. So that's going to be light positions, I believe, and it's going to be our index. We're going to use that. I'm not opposed to unit testing in general, though. But I usually like having unit tests in place that are very critical and should be very rigid and resistant to change. Whereas here, like, especially for visual models, I can find myself tweaking and messing around with stuff, and if I have to fix unit tests every time I kind of iterate or play around with this, it kind of disincentivizes experimentation. Well, I guess not really. I could just let unit tests be failing and just be fine with that. But I just know that any kind of instrumentation or changes, I'm gonna have to go back and modify that. Okay, so we have our limit dot product. In fact, we can just get that directly. We have our data, light data. Yep. We have our index, and then we have our fragment dot product. So now we're gonna do the thing where we do the dot product from the dot product. Oh, brother. Because position is just oh, we still need the vector. We still need a vector. Oh, I can't escape it. We're gonna have more data than we initially thought, because like I need a vector, not a position, to get the dot product from this light fragment. Like here, I have the position of the light source and I have the position of this light fragment, but like I have no vector for the direction this cone is facing, so I still need to have that data. Dang it, man. I thought Dobby was free. We're not free. We're still chained. We're still chained. And this is going to be a more extensive thing because we need to add more data than this can originally handle. So we're still gonna have to touch a bunch of stuff. We're still gonna have to break things, kind of. Not really, we're extending stuff, but we're gonna do more than we initially wanted to. Isn't that heartbreaking? We're gonna have light data 2 or something. I don't know. At this point, I should probably make this just a matrix so I don't have to keep extending data, but I hope this is the most data I have to extend for this. I don't know, we'll find what happens. New viewer, what's going on? Thoughts on pirate software? I mean, I think everything that needs to be said about pirate software has been said by people, and, you know, I'm not gonna be dogging. The arc already happened, the stuff happened, and honestly, I have no relation to the dude, so I'm like, yeah. I gotta say it was very entertaining, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know. Not gonna really comment on that. Instead, we just do the game deving, man. We just focus on getting good, because even now, man. And it's kind of goofy, because, like, not goofy, right? But there's been quite a lot of people who are like, oh, dude, you're, like, in the comments who are like, this guy's smart. This guy he's like a top tier. He's the guy who answers all the chat GPT stuff. And it's like, that's nice. But I know, I still know for a fact that there's many things that I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things I don't know, and then I know there's probably lesser things now that I don't know, but there's still quite a lot, dude. A lot of blind spots in me. Most of my experience is like VR, game dev, like that kind of development, but you know, as much as I rag on like web deving, there's still quite a gaps in my knowledge there, right? Want me to share a secret? I've never done a React app, guys. Hydration, that kind of, I don't even know what these people are talking about. HTMX? What is this? It's foreign to me. It's magic. Yeah, sure, I know like some back-end stacks, and I've implemented some, and I've done basic front-end, but like in PHP. What does it say? Like, you know, there's still quite a lot of gaps in my knowledge. So there's a lot of things you got to get good at. I'm not great yet. Just gotta crack to it. And there's a lot of implementation stuff here too, you know? On the other side of like low level and language stuff. Getting good's a full-time job, man. It's pretty nuts, but it's true. And we have to go into our light config thing. I think that's what we have to do here. That's just what we're gonna have to do. We have our Cozy Light editor, we have our math CJNC, we have our CC model, we have our Cozy Light, we have our Cozy Light settings. Yeah, and I think this is where we do the stuff. Yeah. That's good. That's what we look for. So we have our data vector 4. Maybe I should have just made this a matrix, but whatever. Whatever. It's a 2x4 matrix, okay? And then maybe one day I'll actually do the thing. Light data 2. That's fine. And then we have to go modify this one last API, which is this point light data, which, by the way, I'm mad that I didn't rename this, because now it's going to break everything. I guess I could just do the formerly named as parameter. That's ugly. Yeah, but I guess we're just going to do it. Light data. No formerly named as. Oh, I thought when I did the refactor it was going to do that. Whatever. Everything's going to be broken. We're going to be sad. It's okay, guys. We shall live. So now we're going to have 2. Data 2. Yes. Disgusting. Oh well. Honestly, at this point, I should just do a vector 4, a float 4, but, or a float array, but I like that I could just directly treat this as a position or a vector or float 3 in the GPU side if I want to. Goku hidden in the thumbnail. Can you make 3D animations for YouTube Shorts? Skins around the database. No thanks. Cozy Cabin Scandal? The cabin may be more cozy than we initially thought? Guys, I've been hiding the cozy in the back corner. That's understandable. Hi, new viewer. You have a 6 setup. Thank you. Throwback to the early 2000s. I like it, Jimmy. Jimmy, it's my favorite. I like this kind of feel. Can you make 3D animations? I need to have some clarifications because I'm not sure if I'm getting what you're saying. Goku hitting the thumbnail. What mic do you use, by the way? It sounds crisp and clear. So I do quite a lot of things. So I'm using an Ashton Origin. It's pretty good. You can find it in any retailer. Good microphone, but the processing is where the good stuff comes. And it's because I'm using I have an what is that? What is it called? And a an Apollo. It's an interface that has like an Intel GPU built or CPU built into it, and it does audio processing in there. So I have a bunch of like preamp and limiter settings set onto it to really add this analog warmth to it. That really changes the character of the microphone. Definitely cool to play around with. But yeah, Ashton Origin. Cannot recommend it enough. To watch Deadass. I'm glad, Serial. Those code navigation skills are unreal. I'll have to learn how to fly around like this. Hey, man, just Vim all day, man. Vim does wonders. Said, hi, what's up, person? Just pass all the variables as a void pointer to length. I wish I could do that. I love that I can just do that in C++. In fact, people hate it, but I kind of love it. Just to pass around void pointers, casting it raw to whatever you want. That's how life should be, man. Life was great until you start like you can do so much fun, goofy stuff, but as soon as another person comes in the picture they have to work with, then the fun gets ruined. Then people start throwing around ideas like clean code and solid principles and API definitions, and all of a sudden you start having interfaces that only have one class that implements them just so you can protect the people from touching variables they shouldn't need to. Nah, man. We gotta go back to C. No private, public, everything's available. Implementation stuff. Things that you shouldn't be able to touch, you can touch. That's how life is supposed to be like, man. We have to go back to it. We lost our way. Oh, man. But yeah. I wish, but we cannot. I guess you can, but C# gets mad when you try casting things the wrong way. And I guess I could do unsafe C#, but... Where's my light config? Oh, light settings. Here we go. Yeah, no, that's... Oh, I defined it down here. Interesting. Okay. And we have to do our updates because we passed our data here. There's our fog data, our sun data, and here's our light data. Here we go. And then we have this, data 2, electric boogaloo. Wait 1 second. Is this... Wait a second. What's data 2? I'm kind of scared of what I just did. And I think it's a vector 4. Okay, I think we're good. We're good. Also, I can get rid of a lot of this stuff. We're not using any of these constructors, these static constructors anymore. We're just sending the data directly. Here we go, data 2's there. Okay, we have it there, yeah. Yeah. That's an update. What about on registering a new light source? Yeah, update point light. Gotta update this as well. Yeah, and then I think this should almost be good. Nice. What is this? It's code. It's C#. Where can I learn about the game you're making? So I have a Discord. So there's like, there's not too much I have up. There's a website, the Cozy Cabin Games website, but I haven't really done stuff there. So the main place where I'm going to be documenting and posting updates, which I need to do a write-up sometime soon, probably today or tomorrow. Excuse you, get out of here. Get out of here. I'm trying to go to Discord, man. It's going to be in the Discord in the dev channel or dev updates channel. So that's the main place where this stuff's going to happen. Also, hello, Xavier. Good to have you here. Yeah, it's going to be happening in dev updates. That's where we post stuff. Going to be going back to it regularly, and then I don't know, from there I'm going to find some other stuff. And then there's a prototype of this game on Newgrounds, but it's really rough and incomplete and kind of not really the vision of the game. It's just kind of a prototype. It was just a proof of concept to show, like, hey, this is what we have and what you can technically do, but it's not great. It's not great. But if you want to play an unfinished product, a really underbaked product, then like I guess you can go here and try that out. Yeah, and we're gonna be doing Discord test sessions as well, just to gauge what people feel and things and bugs and other issues like this. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot to work on. Close. Be gone. Be gone from here. Be gone. I don't desire your presence, game. Perchance add the Discord deets in the channel disk. I probably should do that. Join link so I can grab OCR via screenshot. Or grab it with OCR? What's OCR? Also, I think, can I just grab it from the website? Oh, whatever. I'll just create a link and throw it here. I know it's in the stream description, but I need to add it to the channel too. Good call, Terrell. Good call, man. No. Oh, actually, I just want to copy a link. Copy link. Here we go. Is this no, it's not C++. It's C sharp. It's C sharp. Good old fashioned C sharp. My favorite language. Especially when you're writing 4 levels of reference counting. It's my favorite language. I love when Mono does some weird stuff. It's my favorite. Optical character recognition? I've never heard of this before. With OCR via screenshot. What is optical character recognition? Like, is that like a model of some sort? A Google Lens? Oh. I'm not even sure what's that. What's the... He's a grappler, but put him in the Zane key fold. Put him in the Zane key fold. It's a tragic day, guys, though. Isn't it sad when you have to actually add more data to your game? Breaks your heart. Breaks my little heart. Cozy light. We have this. And then we have to pass. We calculate this here. So you actually have to modify this data structure. This is so gross. We have 2 different places where we're modifying this data structure. One of them being in the gizmo for that's so jank. That's not right. We're not doing that there. We're not doing that there. We're gonna just do this calculation in the actual editor script, and then oh, anything that's based off transform can't use the editor script because it's not going to happen every single frame in case you have to do recalculation. Or no, maybe it should be fine. Maybe it should be fine, I think. Or unless we do an update. We update the position here. So why not potentially just update this data there? I mean, it would be a lot of redundant calculations, but it still would be kind of cool. Actually, of course. Also, what's up, Dragon Dive? Good to see you, man. I find having to use OCR more and more to get links and stuff on my phone because copy paste on phone is getting more and more broken. Yeah, I've been noticing that as well. Okay, this is not related to that you're describing, but I was looking at, because we're so used to using, or at least it's either the big two, iOS or Android. And I was like, is there any, because I'm having fun with Linux. and switching from Windows and doing my own thing. I was like, is there an equivalent to Android? Android alternatives. I doubt it's gonna fix any of the stuff the issue you brought up with copy and paste, but who knows? But yeah, apparently there is like there's quite a lot of Android alts. It makes you kind of want to try them out. There's one called Graphene, I think, or Graphite. I don't know, man. Why stop here? Why not make my phone also not Google owned? Why not just go on the Ubuntu's got their own thing? That's crazy. Loon OS no longer maintained. Tragic. Mobian. It's just kind of cool that there's an option. I mean, there's also the other option of just being like, hey, let me just put a normal distro, like normal Arch or whatever, and just plug a keyboard onto my phone every time I use it. After using CRT for hours, it's fine. If my eyes can't handle that, that's a skill issue right there, man. That's a skill issue for my eyes. If my eyes can't survive looking at a CRT for a few hours, they wouldn't survive the winter. The winter that's coming. Dr. Giroux is the biggest, but you need a Pixel. Ah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Pixel was a requirement. What are you using to code vibe your game? I mean, I'm not vibe coding. I'm just using good old my noggin, my good old brain. But aside from that, I'm using Writer. It's good. It's good program. Does me pretty good. Can't complain too much about it. It's a good old fashioned program. So all this is defined based off of. Yeah, we need to use update. We 100% need to use update. So we're gonna have to do a switch case here for data types. Type, and then for the cone specifically, we're gonna be chucking a lot of this stuff in there because now we're gonna need it. We legitimately need it now. We can't live without it. We need this. So we calculate this in update because it's not gonna be excluded on compilation for actual launches or releases. So we have this, we have our edge point, and now we actually supply the data we need. We're gonna stay with the same data layout, but we're gonna be modifying light data.data2 specifically. Yo, I'm new to, but what's your monitor? That looks awesome, retro. It's a Mega Magnavox. Color display 40. Pretty good monitor. It even has like a green option if you don't want to strain your eyes that much. Yeah, it's Buckling Springs. It's an OG 1985 IBM Model M keyboard. I'm not sure if it's a Model M. I think it's Model M. I'm pretty sure it's Model M. Yeah, it's a classic, man. Yeah, good old IBM. That's all you need, man. All right. Gotta turn that option off. So we have our edge point, we have our data 2, we're gonna be setting it to edge point. And that should be just a vector. That should still be a vector, I'm assuming. I'm assuming it's the vector. In fact, we should name it edge vector. And then now we have the values we need to do our dot products. Life is good again. I can be happy again. I can do vector 3 edge equals light data dot data 2 just directly. Should be implicitly casted into a vector 3. Oh, I call this edge point, but we're just gonna call it edge. And then there's also distance as well we need. That's simple. That's a trivial operation to get data for. Unless it's not. It is. You just go here, supply that bad boy. Booyah. That's what we're talking about. And now we can draw our gizmos. But this is not modifying any data directly. Let's go. That's what we're talking about, baby. That's what we're talking about. And then we can go back into our shader. And we can actually start doing the good stuff. The good. I can begin doing the cone. Yeah, we can start doing the cone. Have I? No, this is still good. So we can calculate the dot product now. We have position, we have the limit dot, which is gonna be this, with the dot product of the vector that we now have at our disposal. Beautiful. Lovely even. We're gonna have to do some stuff. C sharp, box whites, my bad. Just started coding. Any advice? I really don't know, man. I guess just find a project that you want to do and just start doing it. And don't commit to a project for too long. Like just do it until it stops being fun, and then work on something else. The projects you work on are going to be the biggest limiting factor to your improvement, because when you start a project, it's going to be limited based off of your knowledge. And like, sure, you can get up to it, but there's a certain point where you just don't get past it. But when you start a new project and you have new insight, the ceiling for how good you can make it gets higher. So just keep doing projects, iterate, and just have fun with it. The more you have fun with it, the better, man. The Agent Smiths. Who is they? That's what Vim binding's so for you. He's the one. Did you set that up, Terrell? I just read that. I was like you set it up perfectly. Oh man. Anyways, you have the position of the light source. Let's even clarify that. We have the light position, and then we have to get this direction vector. So we're going to do, and it's going to be the one that determines whether it's 0 or 1. So we're going to be using, we have to calculate the current position. So we have light data 2 that we're going to use as the vector, and we're going to be using the delta of the world position relative to the light position. So it should be light position, or it should be the world position minus light pause. And then we have light data 2, which is going to be the in fact, let's just document it for ourselves so we can have a better time in life. This is going to be the edge vector. Is it going to be the vector? No, it's going to be cone. The cone vector, or the normal, I guess. Cone normal? I guess we'll use that. That's fine. So we have the delta between the delta from the fragment's position to the light source. So the ray from the light source to the fragment, and then we have the normal. We're going to do the dot product. That's going to be great, and then we're going to be able to do this this thing. And this is named incorrectly. This should be the frag dot, and then our limit dot, and this should be a float too, just a float. Is going to be what is it going to be again? It's going to be the first thing for light data. So light data X, I believe. Am I wrong? No, I need to index into it. That's why. I'm not wrong. I'm right. And then light data X. Cool, and then we can have this early return that happens here, and then we have more things to do. This is gonna be ugly. We can clean it up and make it faster later. We're gonna do world if distance, world position, and I don't know. Is there a Matrix video game? Probably. Platform can help you with that. You can be like, I wish this worked like this, and then just do it. Yeah, honestly, dude, that was me with PyCom and like window compositing. I was like, oh, I wanted to have Windows composited in a certain way, and then like you can just do it. You just install PyCom. If I want to change my configurations for like i3, I can just do it. Like, let's see, what can I configure? No, stop recompiling Unity. I can go to my i3 config files, and I can just change certain things, like how things are set up here, or how my resolutions for Windows are, or whatever, right? I have it mount to my D drive. I can change that. I can make it not do it. It's just so beautiful, dude. Or add certain keywords. Like I have a keyword called to do, and it opens up this Vim terminal where it's just my scratch pad. It's where I do all my work. Like not work, this is where I talk about like random stuff or explain different things, and it's kind of just scratch space. But I just made this custom little bash RC thing to like let me do that, so I don't have to type in to do. I can just do to do, and it just works great. You know, or even like other stuff. Like you can have other things like I want to do Astro, and then now I can have a constellations of the sky over Puerto Rico, and you can just do that, man. You can just do that. It's power. It's your freedom. And right now I like PyCon turned off, but it's whatever, you know. Or I think I don't know if I'm using it or not. Why are you coding on that thing? Why am I not? Why haven't I been coding on this my whole life, man? How about that question? Bro, why are you not coding on this? This is peak, brother. This is peak. You're missing out on peak. Yeah, light position. And then we need to have our variable for distance, which is going to be 90% ASMR, 10% coding. Yeah, that's kind of how it's turning out to be, man. I'm not sure if it was intentional, but it just kind of happens. Distance. When you have like a nice condenser microphone, anything you do around anywhere just becomes ASMR. Distance equals light data dot y, I believe. Let me verify this data. Let me just verify that I'm correct in my assumptions here. Yeah, y is distance. Yep. So y is distance, and not forget we have to index into this. Why did I type it? I'm just gonna copy this and just change y. Oh well. Why are you mad? Oh, there's a function called distance too, right? Isn't there? Yeah, dis. I don't know, cone distance. Yeah, that's fine. And now if the distance is greater than cone distance, which by the way, we can distance calculations are slow, so we might try doing an approximation later, but for now this is fine. Then we do that, and then from here we just copy and paste the code for point illumination, point light process. Yeah, we just do this point light process. Honestly, can I just call this function? No, we can't because we don't have radius. Oh man, I'm a little bit lost here. I'm a little lost in the sauce. I know we're gonna do like this. Like this is gonna happen for sure. Now we just have to figure out the irradiance stuff. I kind of want to try just calling point light process, but there's some data that's just not going to be structured the way it expects it to. Like it expects distance or a radius function. Which is just, I guess it's distance, like, nah, no, that's wrong. Well, now that we have the ray, I know how to do the radiance, the fall off. But, yeah, we're just gonna copy and paste. We're just gonna have to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just gonna have to do some copy and pasting. I'm afraid we're just gonna have to do some copy and pasting, and it's fine. It's gonna be fine. It's just gonna be fine. Everyone's gonna be happy. Life is gonna be good. And if you're not happy, then I'm sorry. You're simply gonna have to get used to disappointment. Where's P distance? Did I delete it? Line light process. I don't even know what I'm doing, man. Oh, you know, actually, ooh, I think I'm getting some ideas here. I just need to understand what's being calculated with P distance. Okay, P distance is the distance between the light point and the world position. Okay, that's what P distance is, and that's pretty simple. That's trivial. In fact, we can have this calculation be cached here as P distance, so we don't have to recalculate it. And as a result, our code becomes a little bit cleaner. And then here we do positions. So this is gonna be different. Our direction vector is set, and it is our cone normal. That's gonna be our normal here that we work with. And then P distance, intensities, yep, that's fine. Normalized direction, yeah. Intensity, yes. I think we're just good. I think we're gravy, baby. I think we're gravy. I know we broke stuff. We'll deal with that. Yes. And to boot, our struct data is still present. It didn't recalculate or do any of that stuff. Oh, for a second I thought my cone data was working. I thought my cone was working. It's not. She's not working yet. Okay. I'm feeling a little sad. It's not doing the thing. Oh, I didn't call the function, did I? I didn't add the function call. That's why. Today at the thrift store, I found an ancient computer and keyboard. Sad I couldn't pick it up though. Why? Why couldn't you? There's always an option. How do you do without AI, man? It's this ancient thing, Rayuga, that it's this ancient technique called just being good. I'm not even good, honestly. I'm not. There's people who are, I would say, who are actually good, and people who are greater. But even me, being mediocre as I am, having grown up, not using AI, you just have this understanding of this stuff, and you build this intuition. Like, instead of having to, I'm not going to dog on AI, because, like, for certain educational stuff, it can be useful. The problem, though, is that, and we're going to exclude the situations where it hallucinates and stuff like that. But let's say you consult AI for your problem, and it actually provides useful information. The issue is that you get the solution without actually doing the problems to derive that solution. And as a result, you lose something important. You miss out on building this mental schema of how, like, this stuff works. And on top of that, like, you end up, like, I'm not saying you particularly. You could be like an expert for all I know. I don't know, man. I'm saying a hypothetical person. A hypothetical person may get used to being error adverse, scared of breaking things, scared of compile errors, and are super heavy reliant on AI to make them go away. without understanding like why it's going away and what's the implications of it in the future. But there's something beautiful and powerful about just getting used to things getting broken, and honestly even liking things getting broken. Like if I change a certain thing, and it's almost kind of a feature, like if I'm doing a refactor, this class has to do something fundamentally different, I actually prefer having it break all usages, because I can go through everywhere that it uses it and I can explicitly fix it. And I can make sure, okay, this is for sure going to behave as intended, right? I mean, that's kind of a different thing. That's kind of tied to like dynamically versus statically typed languages. But like that's a thing, you know. Why most of the coders don't use AI to code? It sucks at making big projects. Even if you buy it, your token will be spent on debugging, and it will not solve it. Yeah, it's contextual. And here's the thing too, right? Like AI is coded on, it's like a bell curve, right? Of like, we could say like a bell curve of complexity, or maybe even topics, where like things that are very common, the AI is gonna be really great at dealing with it, right? Your basic React apps, your basic game application, making a character move left and right on Unity, right? Whatever. Anything that's very normative and very simple and is very prevalent, the AI is going to be really great at it. But the more niche and fringe you get, and let's say you start working on proprietary problems or things that are patented where the code is not available for training and no AIs use it for training, all of a sudden the AI starts falling apart. And the more you have to start relying on your ability to navigate and deal with those problems. So yeah, there's the element of how unique your problem space is that's going to limit how effective AI is going to be in your utilization. And then like you mentioned, Amir, is also like context, because like there's a talk from a guy named who made curl, about how AI is making code reviews so much worse for them. Because they have like bug bounties and stuff like that. AI. And where is it? Curl AI talk programming. Oh, I think yeah, AI slop attacks on the curl project. And the issue he's talking about is that he has this project called Curl, which is prolific. It's used by so many different things. And they have things like bug bounties where people get paid a certain amount for reporting a bug, or finding a bug in the application. Or not application, the program. But all of a sudden, with the advent of AI, the amount of requests or bug reports they get have grown like crazy, because people can just kind of chuck the repository or chuck some stuff and have AI try to review it. And the problem is that a lot of that stuff is slop, and it kind of hallucinates things and does weird stuff. And they're in this weird position where it's like they can't just write it off because it's AI, because who knows, maybe there is a percentage of AI prompts that are actually useful or may actually have an issue. But there's also a humongous amount that isn't. But they still have to give it the same amount of care and attention. And all of a sudden, like, the amount of bug fixes that they do drops significantly, because so much of their effort is spent on parsing out like what is actually real and what's not real. And that's kind of like a microcosm of just the general interaction between AI and development. I'm anti-AI. I don't like AI as much, but I wasn't opposed to using it and trying to find actual utility in it. And I've paid for AI services for extensive periods of times. It's just that I find that they become more of a liability the more I use it than a boon. OS I'm using Linux. I'm using i3. i3 is my middle window manager. It's pretty good. I enjoy it. So the reason this wasn't rendering is because in our light model, we didn't call this function. That's it. That's the simple. That's it. That's the skinny of the issue, is I forgot to add into the switch statement the data, the function call. Happens to the best of us. Come on. Are we gonna do the thing? Guys, we have a point light. We have a point light. We have a point light, or no, not point light, a cone light. We did the cone. Okay, no, this is weird. That's wrong. Oh my goodness, that's super wrong. Did you see that? We kind of had a cone light, but when it gets too close, it like, oh, because it's clipping in there. No, you're not. It's not clipping in here. All right, there's something weird going on here. We're going to Bizarro World. Never mind. But it largely behaves like a cone light when you're not too close to it. Okay, we have some bugs to fix. It's okay. It's okay. Who doesn't have little bugs to fix? Where's our cone light? There's our cone light. Hey, there she goes, though. And I bet we can do some weird angles with it, too. I mean, we're going to test it out now. See just how broken this thing we made is. And it's, oh my goodness, it's kind of updating, but also not. That is not how the cone light is meant to behave, son. So it's assuming it just whirled down instead of transformed down. That's not great. I feel a little sad now. I thought I was a genius. I thought I was the next John Carmack. Turns out, I'm just a bum. I'm just a bum. Tragic. Alright, let's find out what's going wrong. I mean, it's really good for point lights facing down at a certain distance, but yeah, no, that's not good. Flew too close to the sun. Yup, it's backwards. Your cone is getting narrowed as it gets further away. It should get wider as it gets further away. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're correct in that assessment. Interesting. Okay. Very fun. Now let's find out where this is being reversed. Let's find out where exactly this reversal is happening. Probably on the CPU side of things, but let's just go into the world of shaders real quick and just hope that maybe just flipping something here is gonna fix it. Cone normal. Oh. Yeah, no. So that's not it. I'm just being dumb. Okay, we're gonna have to actually debug this. We actually have to use our brain to figure out what's going wrong here, because this is not right. Oh, I wonder. Wait. I wonder if I'm not normalizing it. Why are you developing on a potato? Cause, man. I believe the world should be filled with potatoes. Also, this is actually not a potato. Let's be real here, right? It's not the highest thing, but we got some stuff going on here. We got like a pretty good processor. We got a little GPU, a little modern GPU in here. It's not that bad. It's pretty good. But yeah, we're just using old peripherals. Though I do like testing my games on really weak laptops, because if it works on a bad laptop, it should work great on everything else. It's a choice. It's a choice, Paris. It's a choice. I could just do 800 by 600. I choose not to. I choose to be 640 by 480. No one asked me to do this. No one told me to do this. This is how we live. This is how we do things. All right, we're gonna let's commit our progress though, because this is significant progress. And we like to save our progress here, class. So let's just you know, do a little git, a little commit, as the kids do. Actually, let's make sure we have everything. Yeah. And then what are we gonna do? Cone light. Cone light. And let's also go into the dev kit as well. And same things. Cone light. Here we go. I actually typed my code good this time. I also had that here too, but oh well. Cone light. Yeah, I'm making a cone light for the renderer. The 50 series exists. I'm way out of the loop. Yeah, same. I didn't realize that. I went to Micro Center, and I was like, all right, maybe I should update my GPU. What? It's a 46 series right now, and I looked. I was like, we're on the 50 series. When did this happen? 40 series seemed like the future, and then they already announced like the 60 series, I think. I don't know, man. I just wanted to go from my 2060 to a 5060. I just wanted to do a generational upgrade. It's crazy. I got this for way cheaper than my 2060, just because I got my 2060 during the crypto craze, and that just was the worst thing ever for just casual computing or gaming. Where do I provide my... Oh, 1 second. 1 second. I don't think I do this in the editor. I don't think I provide the correct, the data to data in the editor. Do I? Cozy light and update. Yeah, we set data 2 to edge vector. But we never set the, oh, we passed the edge vector, not the, the cone normal, which, oh my goodness, that's simple. This should be this. Yeah, the edge vector is only ever used for, it's only ever used for the gizmos drawing. Yeah, but we were passing the wrong data to the GPU. Ah, okay. We're onto something right now. So none of this was needed. I'm gonna keep it just in case, but none of it was needed. Because the data we're passing is just the transform down. Ah, brother. Simple. Message retracted. 4-dimension cone, the Enoch. Do you like making shaders much? I love shader coding. Shader coding is the funnest thing ever, dude. Shader coding is like the funnest thing ever. I love it. I mean, that's kind of why I wrote my own lighting model for Unity. Like, part of it's like, yeah, I want to have things be different and unique. My game's not like the other games. Yeah, it's still being weird. Still being weird. So there's still some issues here. Still issues happening. Yeah, some weird stuff is still happening. But yeah, like, that's the other part of it. It's like, it's just fun to do this stuff. Yeah, we don't need this at all. No edge vector. Light data 2. And then update light data. Transform up. Is this like green axis on transform in world space? So there's a world space vector. So I'm still right. That should be correct. And then okay, let's go back to our light model. Let's see what we're doing. Where's everything going wrong here? Light process. Cone light process, go to here, index roll position, length, okay, yeah. We have our position, light position is here. Cone normal is light data 2, yep. Limit dot product. Snake? No way. It's better. Currently, inverse cone light, but it's better. I would love to get into shaders and graphics programming, but I feel like I still have a lot of prereq knowledge to learn. I mean, it really depends. Like, if you're familiar with some C and some basic stuff like that, you'd be surprised how easy it is. You'd be surprised how easy it is. Because, like, shaders is very different than CPU coding. Not just because it's parallelized, but, like, the way you deal with stuff is kind of different. In a weird way, you kind of treat it like C. The way you organize stuff. And it's, like, simpler. So, I don't know. Just don't discount yourself from just opening up, making a shader, going in engine, and then playing around with the fragment shader and just doing stuff. The cool thing about this is that you can play around with it, be weird with it, and like it's not going to break your game. Your game is still going to keep running and playing. Even if you break your shaders, like if I do a bad thing right now, like if I do, I don't know, if I do, and I save this and I go back into Unity, like it's just going to work still. Yeah, everything's going to be purple. Yeah, that's my life now. We're playing purple guy simulator or pink guy simulator or whatever. But you can still like, it doesn't really impact the CPU logic at all. Like it still works. And then if I go back and I correct it, and I go back here, shaders are gonna recompile. The game is still running. Didn't have to stop play mode and do stuff. It just, it's super low stakes. Doing stuff in shaders is the most low stakes kind of programming you can do because typically it doesn't impact like actual code execution unless you're doing compute shaders. That's a very different thing. But if you're doing like just visual fragment stuff, like brother, the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. I still think the fog volume stuff is like the coolest thing ever. The fact that you can just change the vibe and it slowly inches or changes towards it. It's so cool, man. This game is sick, man. I think this game is sick. You don't even have a game yet and it's still sick. Space transform on the CPU or GPU. World space transform is happening implicitly in the GPU due to Unity's. Actually, yeah, it's happening in the GPU. There's like a 3-step process that happens where it does a conversion from like. Actually, it depends on what you're talking about. Because there's certain data that I'm passing in that's directly in world space. Like the point light data is directly in world space. The fragment stuff, that's being done in the GPU where it's taking in the object space information, it has the transform information, and then there's a conversion to clip space, and then you can also convert it to world space there as well. But yeah, everything I'm passing in explicitly should be in world space. So like the vectors and the points. So this stuff, I almost feel like some data isn't being passed in. Because it's weird that I can change the transform, but it has like a rotation and it doesn't affect this at all. That's very weird. Which kind of indicates to me that probably I might have not had the data be passed. The new data 2 value being passed in here. Co-normal. Limit dot, yep. Wow, these are floats, yep. Dot product fragment, yep, that's floats. This fragment's less than the dot fragment is less than the limit dot, then we return. And limit dots gotten directly from there. Yep. We calculate our P distance, the distance between the world position and the light position. So the light origin and then the fragment's position. P distance is greater than cone distance. Okay, guys, give me 1 second. I'm gonna blow my nose real quick. 1 second. 1 sec. Brother. While I do that, let me get some more water because my big cup is a little bit empty. My little big cup is a little bit empty. So be right back. Okay, we're back. Hopefully a mutiny hasn't happened. Hopefully we're still captain of the ship. I'm gonna grab a little snack. We ponder now. What make me think something isn't getting transformed correctly? Maybe rotation gain rule nulled out by a matrix multiply. It should be very direct. But let me look at the place where we chug the data into the let's look at the place where we're chucking the data directly into the GPU. In light settings, there's a few places. I should really normalize this, like one function that does all this instance setting. But let's first look at this. We have this register light, and we set the two data values here. And then the next place we go to, where we modify the stuff, we have data 2, and we pass data 2. That's correct. And let's go where we set this data directly in the GPU. So we have, okay, here we go, set global vector array. Yeah. The element should be arrays, yeah. We have, so we're setting this here. The one suspicion is maybe I haven't set this data here. Yeah, I call this underscore like data 2, and that's how we're accessing the shader property. I hope it's named that. It should be named that. Within here. Yeah, light data 2. Yeah, and it's a fixed size of point buffer. Yeah, these are the same. These are the same. This and that are the same. No spelling mistakes. We're good there. So it should be being set. Links is the best. Yep, coding without using a mouse. It's beautiful, Amir. That's how we like doing it. It's 4 a.m. and I'm having a hard time staying awake, but I'm glad I could pop in. Hey, I'm glad you popped in though, asshole. Hopefully you can fix your cone light, bro. I'm trying to get my cone fixed. I'm trying to get my cone going. Hopefully we can get it done today, because I want to do a dev update tomorrow and do a write-up and post it on Discord, but it's going to feel so lacking without having at least a cone light. Oh, we have 2 light sources now. That's 2, that's a couple, that's awkward. 3, that's a party, that's a company, that's fun times. Data 2. And I don't think I'm getting any Unity errors for like not accessing a wrong shader. So wrong non-existent shader property, like we're not getting that. Yeah, that's for options. Optional. That stuff is fine. We can ignore these problems. Yeah, so it's very weird that orientation doesn't impact this at all. Except maybe when it's flipped. No, it is impacting it slowly. So, okay. Maybe the issue isn't... Or no, it is though. Because even though this is that's just due to another conditional check, but yeah, so orientation. It's wrinkling my brain, dude. It's wrinkling my brain. It's wrinkling my brain a little bit. How this affects that. It is wrinkling my brain. It feels so wrong. It shouldn't be this way, and yet it is. Dot distance. Browse. Intensity. If I make this more tighter, like 9, what do you say? Do you change? Okay, this might be an indicator. The dot product isn't affecting the size of this. That might be a clue. That might be a clue into what's going on here. Some weird chicanery I got going on here. Because this is the cone we're affecting. And the data should be serialized on these changes I'm making. And this should drastically be changing what we do, but it's not. So it's very odd. Yeah, dude, this is weird. It's spooky. It's like kind of working, but also not working. Try scaling it. I mean, scaling shouldn't really impact it because we're not scaling, doing any multiplications on like the data we're passing in. All the data we're passing is in the world space. So the only thing that would, and then like the data is tied to this is normalized, so that wouldn't. And the gizmo is like correct. The gizmo is like pointing in the right place. I'm not seeing the edge vector though on the gizmo, so maybe that's also another indicator that something odd is awry. There's something weird is a front. But it also might be just me breaking something else, or just not rendering something else. Yeah, because we never do. Yeah, because I accessed the world, so they're overlapping. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. They're just overlapping. So yeah, so this code I had here for setting the edge vector would be the what code I used down there. But that's not really important. Is it? What did I use that for? I used that just to get the edge point from the dot product. That's what I did. Let's go here. Line. So these, okay, let's check something here. Let's check something. Let's see if there's a difference in setting the whole new vector versus setting individual components. In fact, let's just do this. There's that weird thing where we use ref here to modify that struct because it's unmanaged and would be passed by value, not passed by reference. So, yeah, let's just do the thing. We're just gonna do this equals new. Oh, no, we're good. We're still good. And this wouldn't impact anything either. Okay, never mind. I thought I had a brain blast moment for a second, but then I realized no brain blast. Just sad, just bad. But we're gonna try it out. Maybe there's something neat. There's something to this. I mean, it always makes a spotlight, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, it's pretty sick that it's still kind of doing the spotlight effect. It's broken and yet still behaves like how we want it to, which is very weird, but okay, I guess I'll take the success in an odd way, but yeah. Alright guys, maybe this might be today we don't end on a W. Today we just don't end on a W. Today's the day we just hey, we couldn't fix it, we couldn't get the thing to happen. I'm gonna fix it off stream and then we'll put it in the dev update. And then I'll see if I can remember what the issue was. But yeah. Anyways guys, I'm gonna end the stream here. We're at the 3-hour mark, and you know, I wanna do stuff tomorrow. Or today, technically. Yeah, I got church in the morning. I have to actually sleep. I have to pack for the trip. There's a lot to do, man, actually. Flying is so annoying, man. Flying, the packing and making sure you have everything. And either way, though, guys, thank you for hanging out. We're like, yeah, it's 80% W. It's like mostly there. It's just a little, and I feel like it's something very simple and dumb, but right now I can't do it. So I'm just gonna take a break, sleep, eat, and then maybe tomorrow when I do an update, we can hopefully I have something solved for that. Anyways, guys, thank you for the company. I appreciate having you guys here and hanging out. I hope you enjoyed some of the work we did today. Yeah, I'll be able to have an update on the Discord tomorrow or Monday. Probably more likely Monday. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, because it's been a while. When was the last update I wrote? Before I did the prototype release. Let me find it. Let me see if I can find it here. And I'll check that in a second. The last proper update I wrote, not even a proper one, it was just like a little showcase, was like from May. So we got to get back at it. Anyways, guys, thank you for today. Hope you enjoyed, and everyone, I'll be catching you guys next time. What distro? Ubuntu Linux with i3. There you go. All right, guys. Until next time, stay cozy.